Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of X4, the 4.0 Beginner's Guide. Today is going to be talking about station management and then looking at getting some more licenses and some more blueprints to get a better station and hopefully get a trading station going. First of all, I want to comment on if you've got problems building your factory, whatever one it is. I'm going to show you how to resolve that now. So, if you notice that your station is taking quite a while to build, there's no reason for it. You can't work it out. It's got money in there. It's absolutely fine. Check your storage. And you can see here, my hull parts is not filling up. I've got everything for my claytronics and my energy cells completely full. But my hull parts aren't going up. But I've got the money there. So why is it not working? The answer to that is because the demand for hull parts is so high, we're not getting any of that loot. So what we need to do is we need to manually get that loot. So all we're going to do is we're going to get one of our traders. There's a lot of action going on. Now, bear in mind that this trader currently is doing a repeat order. So you've got two choices here. You can cancel the trades. So you can cancel this here. All you need to do is where it's selling, you need to cancel the sell. The buy, sorry. The buy. So you can cancel the buy. So at the moment it's heading off to buy. So it's perfect order for now. So we cancel the buy and we cancel all the docks. It'll cancel it itself. You can see we've got an empty container, so we'll go ahead and we'll cancel the sell as well. If it's got anything in its storage, keep the sell on there until it's completed the sale and you're not going to lose any of the profit you've got. We've been working on hull parts already because we've been ferrying to the hull parts factory. So what I want to go and do is I want to buy from. Cancel that. I want to cancel my default behavior. All you need to do is set it to hold position and confirm it. Now we can right click, trade with, grab whatever hull parts there is available. Yes, it's going to cost us a lot of money, but we've got the money and we're going to need the station to make more money. We can then go ahead, transfer wares to the build storage, not to the factory itself, to the build storage. Otherwise, you're just going to end up losing them wares. Drag that across there. Now, what it's telling you here is how much it would like. So it needed 912 energy cells. It needed 458 claytronics. It needs 1,670 hull parts. So if we whack that one into there, we can then go ahead and go back and repeat the same process. Drag up the hull parts here. Repeat the process again. Transfer words to the build storage. So we're just going to need 300, so we should hopefully get the 300 out of this. Trade with Argon Hull Factory. Yes, we can. We'll take all of them. We'll use them at some stage anyway. And then transfer words to build storage. 300 hull parts. We're just slightly over, but that's perfect. We've got the credits. We should be fine. We've got the miners still working, so, there's nothing much we need to worry too much. Here we go. So once that's completed, what we can then do is we can reset it, but do not reset it for now. Now, normally, if you set it to have a default behavior, it then goes on to that default behavior. Having repeat orders overrules that because it makes the queue order become a looped queue order. So don't do it just yet. Wait till it completes its trades. Once it's done its last wire exchange, it'll hold at your station, so it's fairly safe. So that's set and good to go. So now I'm going to let that build, and then we'll come back and we'll start talking about actually managing the station and what we can do with it. Whilst it's also doing that, I'm going to build myself another trader, and I'm going to try and see if I can afford two traders, but certainly one trader, and we'll talk about setting up trade routes for it as well. We'll be right back shortly. Welcome back everybody, and we are set to a stage where we need to be now to continue where we were. So our station is almost complete. Yeah, I think it has just completed, maybe. But either way, it is almost complete. So now we need to look at getting the manager set up for it. Obviously, you can't take any account. It's got no funds available. If we have a look at the station overview, it is creating energy cells. It's creating a small amount here. It'll tell you how much per hour it's going to create. Obviously, the more... We've only got one here, so we ain't going to expect miracles here. But there's a few going. And that's going to help us in the long run with various things. Not only can you sell these now to make yourself a little bit of profit, you're looking at anything between 10 and 22 credits per energy cell, which, okay, looking at that number there, if you got 10 credits per energy cell, you're only pulling in 100k. That's 100k for nothing. And you know, 10 times that, and then you've got what it's just cost you for the station, and you've got a station that's producing energy cells that you can use in your own production. There are two others that we need to look at, is hull parts and cladronics, because them three together mainly are what basically allows you to create things for most of the stations. When you come to the Terran and stuff like that, it is slightly different. However, for us right now on the Young Gun episodes, they're the only three that we really need to concern ourselves with. Now we need to get this set up. So at the moment we can't do anything with this, because if we tried to, we're not going to be able to. You can't even purchase drones or anything like that, because as soon as you do, it just drops back down again. Because there's no manager to maintain the profits or any kind of finances whatsoever. So let's go ahead and get that sorted out straight away. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to head onto your normal map and hit the player information button here. This is the easiest way to do it. And then what you want to do is, now before I do this, we're not going to be able to do it just yet, because we probably haven't got any spare staff, and I'll show you how to sort that out in a second. But basically, if we look at this here, this is our personnel management here. Now you can see straight off the bat, and the reason why I've shown you now is because you need to see what you can, what you need to see to know that you haven't got enough staff available. The role here shows what role they currently have. Each one of these are captains. You cannot remove the captain, because if you did, that ship would then become, so if I try to set it up to go here, select it here, go to manager, assign that manager, you'll see now that if I go to my ship, where are you? I believe it's going to be hold position, Let's see which one it is. I forgot to actually check which one it's going to be. Pilot, here we go. This one here. So this ship here is now dead in the water. It's hold position. I had this ready to go for something else, but if I try and give it an order, I can't do anything whatsoever. So just bear that in mind. The easier way to do it is if you send one of your ships in, let's say, that's the ship that I'm currently sat in. This miner here. Let's get you to go over here, because I need to reset you anyway. So are you on? You're on repeat orders. Oh, I'll tell you what, we've got one that's sat in here already. So we'll go to there. You want to upgrade, repair this ship. You get the same loadout as you get. Go to your crew here, and you just want to go to a service crew, and you want to drop, I'm going to drop 2 service crews, so we've got a couple spare. Add that to the shopping list. Confirm that. If your ship wasn't at the station already, it'll take a minute to get there. Instantly gets upgraded near enough. There you go, just done. As you can see, that was a little spanner. It's now sat at a hold position. We then go back to our player information, go to our personnel management, and you now see we've got 2 service crew, and there's our manager there. So exactly the same as what you would do if you wanted to make them a manager. You go ahead and right click. Now before you do that, your best thing to do is go to this here. It's display skill for role. What this does is if I select manager, it'll show me that that's the manager and these are not. However, it's displaying the skill for the role. So if I then click on this here, I can see who's actually more eligible to be a manager. And you can see that these 2 service crew were actually terrible for us, and the person we picked actually was good because of what he's training here, which is morale and management. A captain trains piloting and morale. So that morale boost there works towards what you require for your management. And some of these do have good management levels. Like that one there's got 2-star in management levels. That one also has 2.5 stars in management levels. These guys here are good at engineering. So, they're just nearly 1 star, just over 1 star for morale, and a 1 star for piloting. And that one is far worse. So we know that this one here, so if I change this to captain, because we need a current role for captain, yes, it's not going to be the best, but it's certainly better than the other person we had here. So that's our best person here. So we're going to promote them to a captain, but we want them first to tell them to work on a ship. Where we are. There we go. Select the courier there. Drop down here. I want you to work as the captain here. And there you go. That person is now at that ship. They've just dematerialized and rematerialized on the other ship. So now we can give that ship orders once again. So we can now give it some orders. We've now got things we can do with our station. If we go to our logical overview, right click on logical overview, you'll notice now that nothing has actually changed, but we can start doing a few things. So if I then decide to go cargo drones, you'll see it doesn't disappear anymore. It actually gives me the resources I require to build the cargo drones. Just drop it off there, and obviously it allows me to do things with it, and it also allows me to set up some prices. If I just put one cargo drone for now, you'll notice that my station account has actually gone up. Minimum recommended budget is 1,658. That's to get the resources for our drones. Production budget is 0 credits. We don't have any production budget because energy cells are free. Supply budget is because we're supplying for the drones, and our tradeware budget because if we needed, cash for our trades, which we'll come to in a second, that's what that's going to be. Okay, so I'm just going to accept the estimate there. So we've got a little bit of cash. I'm actually going to drop the cargo drone off. Yes, there is some cash in there, but I don't need to worry about it. You can see it's now gone away. The next thing I want to talk about is actually setting up this as a trading station. Now, this is not an ideal one for us for trading station because we're going to make this all about energy cells. But since it's our only station we've got, we may as well make some use of it because it is generating energy cells. And later down the line, it can become a beacon towards other stations as well. And we'll talk about that more on the next episode when we set up an actual trading station away from where we are. There's a lot of risk involved in that, but there is also a lot of reward. Okay, so I want to select your tradeware. And since we're doing energy cells, I don't actually have to select it in here. You see, it's not actually here. Double check, make sure it isn't. No, it isn't. Because we have energy cells already, it's already here. And if I wanted to trade something else, I'd select one of these, and it would then also become here. So let's say hull parts. And then we'll confirm that. You'll now see that we've got our energy cell, which is in production at the top. Our workforce, which is below it because it represents the production cycle. And now below this here is our hull parts. We'll talk about the energy cells because you can do the exact same for hull parts, except our energy cells obviously gives us 3 parts. The first thing we want to do is, actually, no, it's already set, so I won't do that. I'll do it for the hull parts. So the first thing we want to do is we want to decide on how to go about setting up a trade with our trade station. If we're going to purchase hull parts, we want to create a buy offer. If we want to sell them, we need to create a sell offer. A little bit of an explanation between this is this will tell you what storage it requires. We have container storage. That's the only one we could actually build. Solid and liquid are to do with miners, and we'll get onto that at a later stage. The amount that we can hold, which is 1,250. Our production per hour, which is 0, and our consumption per hour, which is 0, because obviously we don't have either of them. Our automatic buy amount, this here basically makes it act like an AI station. So when there's nothing in at the moment, the prices for buying hull parts from somebody else to from us to somebody else would be high because we have none. So our demand is high, but our supply is low. Vice versa, if we've got lots in storage, then the prices drop. You can overwrite that if you so wish. You just click that off there, and you can set your own. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about the pricing there. This is the buy amount. Sorry, I do apologize. This is how much we want to buy. So we want full storage. So we can change that if we so wish, and that changes our storage amount. As you can see there, we got a little arrow here. That's how much we're going to buy. So we want full storage. So we'll just set automatic buy amount. Automatic pricing is where it sets as an AI. So for example, if I change this here, this will tell me that I will only purchase at 146 credits per hull. Or I can offer up to 272 credits. So I'll actually pay somebody 272 credits for every single hull part that they put in. The fluctuation of the market means that we may struggle selling them at a higher price when there's a lot on the market. So we just hold it at automatic for now. So it acts like that AI like I previously mentioned when I was talking about the buy amount. Trade rules. Trade rules, you can use your station settings or you can set a restriction. I've talked about the global settings before and I'm not going to do too much, but what I will say is you can do certain things here. So if I wanted to create a new trade rule, since we're talking about trades, I will press on this little button here and I can call it whatever I want. So I'm going to set it as a no faction, or actually own faction. Call it own faction. There we go. Set trade rules as default 4. If we want to set it as default, we can do. We can also restrict all factions. Additionally allowed factions is our only faction. So that automatically sets the trade rule to only apply to basically, so we will only buy from our own. You can do the same again for selling. The trade rule applies to everything. So let's go ahead and save that trade rule. Own faction. So no matter where we set that now, it will act as if whatever we're doing is between ourselves. So let's go back to where we were before. So it's now appeared here, allowed factions. It gives us a little cross here telling us that this whole parts will only be bought from our own faction. Since we're currently not building whole parts, that's not a good idea for us. So we'll use the station settings, which is global settings, which allows us to buy from anybody. Our sell offer, automatic sell amount. That again is the same. We can offer it to sell. So if we wanted to keep half of the whole parts in our storage, maybe we've got something that requires it, so we only want to sell the offset from the half. Or if we want to kind of restrict the value of our whole parts, so say we want to really offer, you know, a high whack for them, we can just drop it here and we won't buy anything above that. Right now, your best bet is just keep it as an automatic sell. Automatic buying, automatic sell means it will pass through between the two of them, no problem. Pricing exactly the same. If you don't set automatic pricing, it means it'll hold it at one price, whereas automatic pricing will fluctuate between how much we've got. And the same applies for our trade rules, as simple as that. Let's go back to our energy cells. Everything's right, everything is what we need. We don't need to restrict it. However, if we were building stations, it might be an idea to restrict a energy cell production between your own stations. You can also set this up as a full energy cells production. To stop traffic coming from everybody, you can have this basically just supply your trade stations, which we'll come to at a later stage. We've got 3,300 energy cells already. It's asking us for a tradeware budget, which is 62,000. That's so we can start buying whole parts. It's not going to take them credits though, which is set under our tradeware, to buy whole parts and then sell them on to someone else. Right now, we're probably not going to get whole parts because there's such a high demand that we're not going to be able to do anything. Which comes to our part 2 of setting up our trade route. Now, I said to you I was going to build two of these, and I have. We've got our third one, which I've actually stopped. That one helped us build the station by supplying it with whole parts. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a couple of trade routes. This was basically moving what we were supplying as ore, was obviously getting converted into refined metals, which was then by us being moved over to the whole parts factory, and then this ship was just basically returning back empty and going to ore refinery to pick up another load. Anybody in any kind of logistics business will tell you that that return load is lost profit. You always want to get a backload going. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that up here now. So we're going to go to our information again. We're going to have our repeat orders. We're then going to go to our ore refinery. We're going to go trade with, and we want it to buy refined metals. We'll cross that off there. Full storage of refined metals. 84,000 is going to cost us. We're a known associate on our trade, so because we're doing things like mining for them and trading with them, we're actually getting reputation gains, which means that we actually get a known associate discount. And since it's on lots of pride, we're getting a +2, but our known associate is making it so we're actually getting -2 from the transaction value, which means we've got 2% profit already on that. Let's go ahead and set that up. I have no idea. Can I execute? Can I enable these default behavior while performing a critical operation? Oh, sorry. Yep. See. Never forget. It's currently undocking, so we'll have to wait for it to undock. We'll just go to our second ship here. It'll reset itself. Always remember to hit the confirm button first, so it changes the order queue. Right. Oh. Let's now go to our refinery. Buy from. Here we go. The screen was completely wrong. I should have picked up on that. Buy up to maximum price. We'll set the maximum price up to there. And there we go. We then want to sell to our whole parts. Sell to. Wanted to keep 0. Minimum price 0. Sell buy metals for 89 credits. Go. We then want to say, where are we? There we go. Buy hull parts. We want to buy from. Buy where hull parts. Buy up to. It actually looks like there's no hull parts for me to buy at the moment, so that's concerning. So we'll just continue with offering it our services. That's still trying to undock, so let's set the other one up. Again, we'll set this one to repeat orders. Firm. Or refinery, buy from. Buy metals, buy up to maximum price. We then want to sell to. Sell refined metals, minimum price. Is that right here? I think I might have actually done that one the other way around. Let's just double check on that. I'm going to cancel these because I think I just did that the wrong way around. Buy from. Buy metals. Maximum price. So we're offering 200 up to 207. I don't know if I did it the wrong way around, but let's just be safe. And then sell to. Buy metals. Minimum price 18 credits. There we go. Better safe than sorry. Our ship is now undocked, so we can now set it to repeat orders. Okay, it's still. Yeah, let's just dock and wait. Quite sure why it's stuck on undock. It may be. Okay. Seems to be in a queue. So we'll just let that plod along and get undocked. Once it's undocked, we'll get it to go over here so I can see that it is undocked. Once that's undocked, we'll repeat that process for that one as well. We've still got our mineral going. So the next thing I want to do is I want to see if it's profitable to actually get some more purchases going with this. So if we just nope, that's set to repeat orders. So if we just right click on this and go to trade offers, we can see that it's still offering a buy offer for 29,631 ore. So that was higher. That was about 43,000. So if we try and pump this with more resources, we may actually struggle with it. So probably worthwhile not actually doing that. So we'll hold off with that. We'll let the one supply it. It's still got a nice sell offer of 4,800. So it is pumping up. You see we've got 11% above average price. So it still has restricted resources, but that's not a problem. Our next and last one is what I'm going to do with this here because this one's stuck. It's still stuck on undock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do a different type of trade route, which is to trade for commander. So the trade for commander works for any commander that you've got. Generally, it's for stations. So we're going to go for this station, which is our energy cell station. We're going to go trade for commander, and you just set to alpha. That's just one of the options it gives you. It gives you 4 options for a station. We'll set to alpha, trade to commander. What that's going to do in a minute when it decides to undock and get itself out of its way is it will now become a subordinate for this station here. And then what that will do is it will find its own trades. So it basically set it as AutoTrade. So AutoTrade, it will probably give it 2 or 3 jumps from the station, and it will sell its wares and buy whatever wares it needs. So for the hull parts and stuff like that. Now, the AutoTrade for a station, when you set it as a commander, a little bit 50-50 sometimes. Sometimes it will hold out on you and not do anything. But I generally find it's the cause of that. There's a couple of things. Is one, not enough funds in your station account. And 2, sometimes it just doesn't look for the trades. So make sure you've got satellites out there. I've shown you how to deploy them. Make sure you've got them out like I do around these areas here. And use the repeat order process to move them between your stations or from stations you already know. The only downside to repeat orders is it's at some stage you're going to be selling your wares for a loss of price. So don't do it for things like hull parts. Only do it for things that you're producing yourself, because technically there is no cost to that. And when I say that, I mean something that's not got a production. So for example, hull parts has refined metals, which has ore. So your ore is the free section, which is then going into your refined metals. The refined metals have a value. So then that value then goes to your hull parts. So you could turn around and say, actually, you're losing money if you're giving it away. But again, the initial trade, so as long as you're not buying the hull parts, the refined metals to make the hull parts, then it's no loss technically. Even though you could have got more value for your money, you're still making money. Hopefully that's covered up a few things. I apologize, it's a little bit longer, and I did mess up on the buy amounts and the buy pricing. I don't know how I got confused there, but I do. So I'm only human, unfortunately. I'm hoping once this station here gets some resources, unfortunately it doesn't have any resources at the moment, for us to actually set a secondary route. You'll see here, it's only got 121 hull parts at the moment, and that probably has only just appeared. So we'll continue supplying it. Hopefully that number will start going up. Once that number goes up, I'm going to do the exact same thing as what I just tried to do there. I'm going to then buy hull parts and then sell them to either our own station. I'm actually going to sell it to the Argon Wharf because that's going to use them hull parts constantly. So at least one of them is going to then apply that and do that to that. And then hopefully this ship will make its way out. What I'm going to actually do is I'm going to fly over and I'm going to kick it in the gears and see what's going on here because it seems to be stuck and it's causing problems for everything else. So let's go ahead and fly over to that. Is my ship going to let me? So let's head on over there. That's going to be us for this episode. Let me know in the comment section if you've got any problems, questions, ideas, or anything like that. Next episode, we're going to set up a second trade station, and then I'm going to show you how to effectively move words between the two stations and hopefully get some sale off on your second station, which is again another profit earner, and it stands a little bit more chance of surviving when it comes to things like raids and stuff like that. Your ships are, vulnerable to raids, so we'll also hopefully be able to have a look at getting a couple of fighters for the ship that goes between the two stations, and we'll see how that goes. But that's going to have a few things in there that I'm going to go into more depth about when we go to combat vessels and stuff like that. But we will touch on it so that you can understand defensive fleets and stuff like that. But until next time, everybody, take care for now. I'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye for now.